Welcome back to another episode of A Candor Gander with yours truly, Sergeant Filthy McNasty. On the docket for today, 2 years. Can you guys believe it? I can't. I mean, time flies by. We're gonna take a trip through past, present, future. See what's in store. See talk about some highs, some lows, and presently talk about the exciting events that are coming up. We're going to find out whether or not Bolon indeed wears shirts for interviews. I brought that up as a potential contentious debate. He'll answer once and for all whether or not hot dogs are still sandwiches. God, that question I just will not die. And who knows? Maybe we get alpha. I don't know. I'm winging this today. We'll find out more here in a sec. The void, it's here. Clear winner here. Bull on shirt or no shirt? Let's find out. Oh, he's got a shirt on.
I actually, what people don't realize is that I only wear shirts for interviews. So like, there's no impromptu turning my camera on in AMAs because 90% of the time I'm not wearing a shirt. Like, if nobody wants to see me anyway.
Now we must speculate if there's no shirt, is there pants? Don't answer that question. Thank you very much.
There are.
No pants, but shorts. I get it. That's cool. I get it. Well, I imagine muggy Florida. If you could take off your skin, you would. So we'll leave that one at that. How are you doing, man? It's been a minute. I feel like we haven't had the last time we had a one-on-one was about a year ago when we did, I think, an anniversary chat for DFK.
Has it really been that long?
I think you've been on before, but not one-on-one.
Yeah, I guess you only invite me with other people. It's cool. I get it. I'm not enough. You need others to gain viewers. I get it.
It's not you, it's me. I was wondering. I was like, can I do shows on my own again? I don't know. I'm sure I can. We'll find out. No, but how are you doing, man? How's it been?
It's been good. Been busy, obviously, but it's been really good. I'm glad to see that you're doing better and back at it. We missed hot takes for a couple months now, so we got to get some hot takes going again.
Bro, no kidding. We were chatting behind the scenes. I think my cop's officially gone. That sucker's been lingering for the better part of a few months now. I think it's gone. It got to the point where my boss was like, okay, do I need to send you to the doctor? Or are you going to go on your own? But I was like, yeah, I know what's going to happen. I'm just going to, throw away my copay money, which could go to DeFi Kingdoms. You don't know that, but that's where I'm coming at it from. So that's good. I'm glad to hear you're doing good. 2 years, can you believe it? I mean, it's just like that.
No, I cannot. It feels like it's been 50. So the fact that it's only been 2, and yet also the fact that it's somehow been 2, because it also simultaneously feels like it's been 3 months. So it's wild. Like, I think I've started saying for a long time now that time is a construct and it doesn't really exist. But damn, if you feel like it does exist, get into crypto. You'll find out it doesn't.
No, and it's an emotional roller coaster of sorts. I mean, I left. I've been in and out of crypto. A couple of times. This is the first bear market where I've stuck it out and I said, hey, you know what? I'm here for it. Yeah, I'm gonna. I'm gonna wade through it, figure out, see what happens on the other side, and enjoy the ride. And is it taxing? I'm sure from your perspective, you're sort of fielding all these questions from community, from the team. You're sort of voice of you hear it from both ends. I'm
Yeah.
sure that all gets accentuated on your end, and it's a bullhorn on both sides.
Yeah, I mean, it's rough too because like, we are as a team, very bullish. We really believe in what we're building. We really believe in what we're doing. We believe in the future of DeFi kingdoms. And it's hard because like I fully understand where people are coming from, where, what their decision to exit is based on. Like I understand all of it. But we have such a good community and like so many people in our community, I consider my friends. The vast majority of the people that in our community at this point, they're my friends. I talk to you guys more than I talk to my wife or anyone else, which is probably doing her a favor. Uh, but
You're
I want
absolutely
them to
right.
be
You're
around.
so
I
right.
want them to see what happens. I want them to be a part of it. And so it's just sad. Like it just sucks to, see people leave when, I believe that there will be a bright future. But I understand it. I don't blame them. I don't hold it, it makes sense. It's just sad.
No, no. Well, and for those people who have stuck around the 2 years through those highs, through those lows, and what felt like even lower lows. I mean, what do you tell those people? I mean, we're here. We've got some exciting news. You've all had. You've announced. You've got the void event. You've got the
Mhm.
leveling event. I mean, that's pretty exciting stuff. But I'm sure that's just the tip of the iceberg. What are you telling these people who've just stuck around and they're wondering what's next?
Yeah, I mean, step one is we love you. Uh, you know, it's funny, real quick tangent, and then I'll answer your question. But it's funny because it actually came up. I don't know, it was probably a couple weeks ago now, but time doesn't exist, so don't quote me on that. But somebody said something, I think it was in price discussion, in the price discussion channel. Somebody said something about like, I feel like there can't be that many people from 2021 still around. And I was like, oh no, there can be. And like I could remember 15, 20, and then like all of these people just started popping up that were like, oh yeah, that's me, oh yeah, that's me, oh yeah, that's me. And you can look at the Discord join date, right? And that's not 100% guarantee of anything, but if they've been in our Discord since 2021, they've been around since 2021. Even if they didn't buy in, that's fine, they've been around. There's some people that have been around since 2021 who didn't join our Discord in 2021. We love them equally. But it really is wild to see, how many people have stuck with us and rode this wave. It's really humbling. And it's amazing, and it's so encouraging to see how many people have been literally to the high with us and then also to the low with us, and
And
still
stuck
believing
around,
and
and
stuck
we've
around,
stuck
still
around, right?
believe. Some of them are some of the biggest believers in DFK because they've seen it. And it's really, really humbling and really awesome to see. But especially like that day was really cool because I was like, oh, there's all these people like off the top of my head. And then just to have, probably another 20 people, and this was all within an hour on Discord, right? But to see another 20 people pop up, like, yeah, that's me and me and me, and it's just like, yeah, you guys are here. So absolutely amazing. What do we tell them, or what do I tell them? I just tell them that the team is very bullish and we still very much believe in what we are building. There is so much to come. The way we look at it is that so far we have built about 15% of DeFi kingdoms, which means there's another 85% to go. And that we can't wait to keep getting there. And we've talked about it on a couple AMAs, especially as of late. Beetle Dude really likes the analogy that we're building a plane while we're flying it. Uh, I really like the analogy that we're building a skyscraper. You have to lay the proper foundation, or the whole building will collapse. But whichever, or a different analogy, your choice. It's definitely one of those things where as we get these pieces in place, things speed up. once you get that system in place, like the equipment system is a great example, right? Implementing equipment is a massive process, but once we have the equipment system in place, it's that much easier to keep adding new pieces of equipment. And so that's really where we're starting to see a lot of this come together and see a lot of that foundation, being shaped up. But yeah, it's really cool. Absolutely, we love all of you guys. Don't get me wrong. I don't care when you joined. I love you. But the fact that so many people have been here since early days, and we have people that have been in our Discord since before launch that are still here, still active,
No
still talk in our
kidding.
Discord, still participate, still play the game. And they have literally been here since before we even launched. It's unbelievable.
Wow. Wow. Well, yeah, and to those people, shout out Sticks intern, Kupo, Mr. Reliable, Wowie, Coolio, shout out. Glad you're here joining us live. So step one was we love you. Step two was bullish. Um, describe DFK the year two in one word. I mean, if you could describe just the second year in one word, what would you say?
Okay, so let's see. That would be August of 2022 till now. Okay, cool. That should have been very easy to figure out, but it wasn't. One word: recovery.
Recovery. I love it. I love it. Very specific. Why recovery? It can mean a myriad of different things. I
It
mean, you can
definitely
spin it in
can.
every different way. But why recovery?
Uh, I mean, August of 2022 was right around the point where we, officially said we're leaving Harmony. We have to. We don't have a choice anymore. We've got to migrate. Which also means it started all of the migration process. I think in August we were already driving Crystal Veil parity, but we hadn't even finished that yet. So it really just saw so many foundational shifts. The parity of our second realm, the migration of our first realm, a complete tokenomics change, a complete governance system change, and really it went from no one being certain that we were going to survive, outsiders looking in especially, but I think fairly, even some in our community, it went from some people being very concerned about our ability to survive after the Harmony incident to showing that not only will we survive, but we will thrive.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
we can handle it. But yeah, I mean, August 2022 was a rough time. That was a rough time.
Oh no, no. I mean, I absolutely. When I saw the Harmony hack stuff happening or the bridge stuff happening, I thought to myself, what is this going to do to the project? People panicked as people will because you know that's just human nature, right?
Well, I'd say
But
that even justifiably.
well,
Most
absolutely, and it
people
was something completely outside of your all's control. I mean,
right.
and that was the unfortunate piece. But the way you guys pivoted so quickly, and I just incredible. I mean, let me take this opportunity to sort of call out a couple of things. I mean, I think you and the team have heard many criticisms along the last the last 2 years. This last year, I'm sure you guys did too, as you mentioned, a pretty rough year. A couple of things, and myself included, right? I'm not going to say I didn't say some of this stuff as well, but you know,
Me neither.
marketing's an issue. Onboarding needs to be a priority. On ramping is critical. There's no gameplay, and I think to each of those bullet points you guys could turn around today and say, check, check, check. Uh, recovery, redemption. That's another word that comes to mind. Do you personally
I
feel
did
redeemed?
I did consider redemption, actually, to be honest. That was one of my options. I think all of them started with R randomly. That's got stuck in my head. Y'all know once I get a word in my head, I can't stop using it. Stoked. But yeah, no, I mean, I think redemption is on the table. And that's where, I think there's still some redemption to go though. Like I don't think I don't think that one's quite done yet.
And it isn't,
Oh,
but
this is reading my mind right now.
and it isn't over yet. Oh my god, no kidding. I'm glad the interns got these show notes. Thank you, Sticks intern.
I do have
But
to real quick, sorry to interrupt, but I made a
yeah.
promise and I need something to happen, so I have to do this. I highly encourage you to join Office Hours with Sticks Intern one day for an episode. It's a great podcast and you should definitely be a guest on it. And if I keep doing this, then eventually I get a Sticks Intern swimsuit edition. And so I got to do it. But
Um, I need an invite from the intern. I keep inviting him to my show with the hope that one day he'll extend an invite to his.
there
He,
you
clearly message not received. So Sticks intern when.
go.
All kidding aside, I mean, the fact that sentiment, it just feels like some of the biggest naysayers, for whatever reasons, and then the person that comes to mind, because I was a huge follower of, at the time, he's the person that got me into DFK, introduced me to the sort of ecosystem, and sort of, I heard it enough where I was like, okay, maybe I should look into it. George from Cryptos RS, he in many ways, sort of, for me at least, led the charge in sort of leading towards that negative sentiment. And of late, just based on his Twitter, his tweets, some of that's been changing. And regardless of what you feel of the person, when you have 600 k followers, what you say, it's gonna sort of affect sentiment one way or another. So from that perspective, I mean, redemption for sure. Um, and in this second year, I know we've talked of lows, and you could probably pick, your lows, right? But your highs, from the team's perspective, I mean, what's a high that you want to sort of call out, either behind the scenes, or something that we all sort of are aware of? I mean, something that the team sort of rallies behind. This specific moment in year two being, when we've turned, we've become the DFK of today.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I think there's a few of them, to be perfectly fair. But Crystal Veil parody was a huge milestone for us, and felt really good to have that built out, have it there, and really see what the subnet could do, right? Because we hit parity and we started hitting 4 million transactions a day. And then we made some changes to cut down on some of the bot spam. But we're sitting there going, "Oh crap, we're hitting for this. The whole thing's gonna break. It's gonna go down. What do we do?" And then we went, "Oh, no, it's not." Fantastic. So that Crystal Veil parody was really, really cool for us. It was a big milestone. Completing the migration was definitely another one. I mentioned the revamped tokenomics also, but we really saw that as an opportunity to make some really good changes based off what we had learned over the last year. And having that support, I think it was like a 99.7 yes vote or something like that. Like, I mean, it was absolutely
It's a
overwhelming.
no-brainer. Yeah.
And so, to see that, like, not only did we think that this was an improvement from what, we had learned over the last year, but to see that the community really rallied behind it, they saw the merit, they saw the benefit, it was really, that was also, that vote alone was a really, really cool one for us, just to see that, the community was aligned with us, that they also saw the same vision we saw. From a feature standpoint, I would say we were very excited about dark summoning. Still are. It's fun. That one was a lot of fun, I think, for many of the departments to work on also. But I mean, good Lord, Hubert, I think it was Hubert, maybe it was Beetle. One of them alluded to it in the AMA yesterday. But the anticipation behind dropping that trailer for us, like this is something that we've been waiting to do. I mean, realistically, this is something we've been waiting 2 years to do, but more specifically, this is something that, I think we probably decided probably about 3 weeks ago, okay, we're gonna put together
Yeah.
this trailer where that timeline will work out. That'll work. That's what we're gonna do for our birthday. And then shout out to Dragon T for making that trailer, and Mother Brain for helping with assets and feedback on that trailer. A bunch of us. The biggest shout out to Dragon T goes to having 12 people giving her conflicting feedback on
I know what that's like. I sympathize.
and none of us except for like 3 are video editors. The other 9 are just like, yeah, but like, what if we did this? And that includes me, so shout out for dealing with me. But once we made that decision, like, we've been excited about the void hunts since kind of the inception of the idea.
Oh yeah.
But especially once we made that decision, like, that's what we're going to do for our birthday. Like, we saw the first draft of the trailer, and she might kill me for saying this, but I'm going to. When Dragon T put together the first draft of the trailer, most of the assets weren't available yet, and so it was like, I don't know, 30 seconds with what assets were available, and then it was just a crap ton of boar memes for like just random images, like a video of a boar like tearing up a convenience store. It was hilarious, though. We might have to release the Dragon Tea cut at some point, but
I need to see it. Trade room, are we live? We are live. For those of you who have not seen it, what rock are you hiding under?
right.
The video is good enough. I'm gonna play it here, and then I have
Let's
some
do
follow up
it.
questions on the video.
Yes, let's go.
I want to be a fly in the wall, Bolon. Walk me through your specific reaction when you first heard, not when you first saw the trailer, but when you first heard we're doing this, it's happening, and it's we're launching the video on this day. What did you think?
Oh, no, that's actually pretty accurate. Thankfully, my camera was off because I can't hear that music and not like dance to it a little bit.
Right?
But no, like, just part of my job is to try to stay in tune with the community. But it was just this, like, the decision was made, and all I could think was, everybody's gonna lose their mind. Like, it's perfect. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Like, it's our 2-year anniversary. We're gonna drop this trailer. Like, people are going to go nuts. And then that evolved into the plans for what we did with Discord, with changing all the emojis, everybody changing their PFPs, slowly killing all of the channels, which I was slightly resistant to, but I'm really glad we did. And just all in all, like, it just was such a fun birthday. Like, everybody was so hype. The trailer dropped, they were so excited. Like, it just, it was one of the few things that have ever come up in DFK where I was like, everybody's going to be happy. Normally, no, but this time it was like
There's
everyone's
always
going to be happy.
there's this one. No, and to sort of pair it up with, I think it's a pretty epic follow up tweet where hey, to celebrate this 2 year anniversary, Frisky Fox is giving away a Gen Zero. I mean, that's pretty bullish. I mean, how did that happen in the back? Because I think that's just as epic as that as the void event and the level up event. I mean, the fact that these three things are partnered together, it's pretty genius on my end. I mean, walk me through how that sort of all took place.
Yeah, so the Gen Zero actually has kind of been pending for a little bit, to be perfectly honest, because it's one. Oh hell, I don't even remember what it was for. We did a Gen Zero giveaway for some stuff, and Fox won one and was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna give it out. I'm gonna give it away. Like, I'm gonna figure out something. I don't know what yet, but like, I'll figure something out and I'll give it away." And then obviously, like, things have just been insanely busy on our end, which is a good thing. But just wasn't the top of his mind, which is understandable. And so then he and I have talked about it a couple times, and I was like, what do you want to do with it? And he's like, I don't know yet. I want something impactful, but I don't know what yet. And I was like, okay, like I'll try to think of something too, and just hadn't come up with the right thing. And then it was like, you know what? Boom, birthday. Like that's it, like, right. And so it just worked
Bro,
out
you guys
so
killed
well.
two birds with one stone. Gen Zero giveaway, and then amulets. Boy, how long have we heard when amulets for?
Never again. No, that also, we were very, very excited about that news. We recognize obviously that, like, that's a promise that we made. Like, we take full responsibility for it, but a lot of stuff has happened. I mean, we could have given them out, but we couldn't have designed them, and you couldn't have used them. So what's the point? Like, we'd rather
Right.
give them to you when you can do something with them. But we were definitely also incredibly excited for that news, which is why they are 100% revealed in the trailer, unlike other items. But then we also have the leveling event, which I feel like was going to be your next question, so I'm just going to
Yeah.
jump you. But we have the leveling event. But when we were talking about the amulets, one thing we had talked about was it's been a long time since that snapshot. It's been quite a while. A lot of things have changed. People have come, people have gone. Whatever. How can we do something to make sure that some of our current players who might not have been around back then have a chance at some of these amulets? And so the leveling event just played out perfectly. Of problem solved. We want to do a leveling event anyway. Let's make some amulets as some of the prizes. We're keeping it relatively small because this series of amulets is intended to stay very, very rare. I won't say that we will never give any of them out again, but it's definitely not going to be like a regularly recurring thing. We want these to be a very limited series. That said, and Hubert mentioned it in the AMA yesterday, also, that doesn't necessarily mean they're the best amulets that there will ever be in the game or anything like that. It's just this series was always intended to be a very limited edition amulet.
Well, I have to ask about your expectations. I think, I mean, all our expectations, whether it's next week, month, the year, whenever that is. I mean, how are you prepping for the inevitability of DFK growing to the point with, now with PVE being released and all these cool features that people, holiday partnerships, onboarding, on ramps. The game is, it's being set up to sort of blow up and blow up in the right kind of way. How are you personally prepping for the inevitability, hopefully here, of just an influx of new players? Because it's a lot for any one person to handle, but how are you sort of prepping for it mentally? Let's start there.
I'm practicing my not sleeping, getting really good at it too. But but no, I mean, it definitely. will be a change, but it's also not something that we haven't done before. You know, I think we peaked at like 95 thousand members in Discord. I know we didn't break 100, but we were close. But you know, I, if y'all were around back then, you remember, you know, it was 10-minute slow mode in Gen Chat at all times, and it was still going so fast you could barely read it. But you know, one thing that I actually think, you know, will put us in a position to be even better prepared than last time, right? So we have an absolutely amazing squad of knights. You know, I cannot give them enough credit for what they do. It is a primarily thankless task. I try to thank them, but I don't, you know, whatever. Except for Sinjuru, he doesn't get thanked. But no,
And
like
Panga, let's retract love for Panga.
yeah. Panga gets thanked until he posts Kirby feet, but that's all he ever does, so he doesn't get thanked. But no, like obviously, like we have an absolutely incredible squad of knights who are very very well poised to help people. But we also have really incredible community members. Like so many of you guys are in Discord, help people, you know, answer questions. You know, obviously, I got to give a shout out to Blue. Holy crap! I thought I didn't sleep. I don't yeah but you know there's so many great community members who are here and ready and willing to help people, and because of the additional time that we have had from the last time that our Discord kind of went insane, you know, those community members are that much more knowledgeable, we are that much more knowledgeable, so are our knights. Like we just have a much more established base to be able to help those people and answer their questions, help them get onboarded, help them figure everything out, which that's the other beauty. You know, you mentioned Halliday, you mentioned on ramps, both of those are massive. We're also working on some in-game tutorials. So we also want to just natively eliminate a lot of the onboarding questions. And then you get game related questions, and those are fun. And there's a ton of people in Discord who love to talk about those because there's 100 different opinions.
Wow.
So Wowie, no, when it comes to Wowie, there's only one opinion. But yeah, just very excited for that. I think we'll be in a really good place to adapt to that.
I think you've answered this question. I believe I've seen the answer to this. I think on Twitter, someone's asking. RK3 is asking. Medium article doesn't specify, but dark summoning level ups those count towards the level up total, right?
They do indeed, and we are tracking it at the time of level up. So if you level up a hero and then you dark summon it and kill it, you still get credit for all of its levels, and then you also get credit for the dark summoned heroes levels because we're tracking the actual level up event at the time it happens.
Opportunity to stack up those entries. And you know, and I saw Kupo's message. I gotta mini energy one man army. I mean, this guy's like oof, like it's right there. It's right here. I mean, impressive. I mean, the guy is the most generous person I know. And I know he gets donations, but even putting anything like that together at the scale he's doing it as often as he does it, bonkers.
It's
You know, huge kudos.
insane. It is incredible. I have trouble just doing tilt proof every week, as y'all know. You know, and some of what he's put together, like shout out to everybody who's donated to it as well. But yeah, I mean, his ability to just keep it orchestrated and organized, good lord. He must be a spreadsheet master. Like it is
Oh my
impressive.
god. Yeah, no kidding. Well, and yeah, you're in part calling out the community and sort of you know, showcasing the community as a whole. I mean, in the span of the 2 years, if anything, collectively we've become stronger, sort of more of a unified front. I can't begin to express how unique that makes us as a project. You go into these other Discord channels for these other groups, and you know they're just, I know it's the bear, but they're not nearly as lively as you know our Discord channel, you know, despite you know what you may think, right? So the fact that we're here, we're thriving, sort of as you know, as a collective whole, and just commiserating sometimes. Yeah, it's a bear, but we can come in there, and it's an opportunity to, if you're not talking shop, you're hanging out and just having a good time.
And
I,
that's
I
what
look forward to more of that.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, is just having fun, just relax, like, talk DFK, don't talk DFK. It doesn't, just have fun, be around other great people. We say all the time that we have the best community, but like, we mean it. It's not an exaggeration. It's a statement of fact. And I will fight anybody who tries to say that their community is better than ours, because it's not. Like, we have the best community in both crypto and gaming, and we have brought them together. But like, we absolutely would not be here without this community. Y'all are absolutely amazing.
You've earned a vacation day. Let me ask you, how's your foot? Because the last vacation you took, I heard, wasn't maybe too good on your foot. How
That
are you
was
doing?
my hand.
Oh, it was your hand. I thought it was your foot. How's
No,
your hand doing?
I broke like the little bone right here under my thumb, which ironically is the second time I've broken that little bone. But anyway, no, it was good. I really don't do the whole like time off thing. That's not crypto never sleeps. We gotta be here. But I kind of did, because I was out of town and I had very, very bad service, so I was kind of forced to disconnect a little bit. And then I broke something. So maybe that was the problem.
No, no, the problem was you went to go break your something and not see us at 3XP that weekend. So
I
yeah.
I'm still so sad I missed 3XP. Like, I had to, but I'm so sad about it.
uh, no, and so no, I'm glad you're doing much better. Let me ask you about let me see here. Room for improvement. I mean, I know nothing's perfect. Nothing's ever done. As far as room for improvement, what sort of low hanging fruits do you see to sort of maybe address sort of next? I mean, what can you think of sort of improving here in the near future?
Well, I would say multi-leveling, but we did that. Uh,
Touche.
uh, so outside of multi-leveling, obviously what we have going on in terms of onboarding with, Halliday on-ramps and tutorials, yes, but that is in progress. Outside of that, next low-hanging fruit, that's a tough one, because most of the rest isn't really low hanging. It's good and it will greatly help, but I think expeditions is going to be a massive step forward in terms of like hero management, and really like being able to take that step back and manage your heroes, rather than like directly running your heroes, right? So I think that's going to be really big. It's definitely not low hanging fruit. It's going to be a pretty big effort, but I think that's going to be a really, really big, like, game changing paradigm shift in how you actually play DFK. But I am also really glad that we'll have things like hunts, as that happens, to keep people more engaged. Because that was always my biggest concern with expeditions, is we don't want people to just set it and forget, and not still like interact, not want to be on the platform. But having something like void hunts, good lord, having something like void hunts, that still gives you that reason to come and play and check in, and pull your heroes out and go void hunting with them. So there's definitely some cool stuff there.
Wowie wants community manager. I think what he meant was Fight Club, not Fight Night. I mean, I'll take either, but that too would be interesting. um,
My
behind
intro
this,
music is the void hunts trailer music, by the way. That's my fight night intro music.
I want when PvP comes out and we're at an esports something or other. I think it's only appropriate each player has their own intro song or rug. I'm still expecting Mythic Squad to come in dodgeball style.
You have to.
They have to. They
It's not an
absolutely have
option.
to. It isn't.
Yeah,
I will send them back out, and they must enter appropriately,
yeah,
or they forfeit.
for sure. Like 100% with you on that. They don't have a choice.
So speaking of choices and speaking of absolutes, and just your conviction, that PVE is the best. You said, I think most recently, PVE is the most relevant, best sort of version and any type of combat. For those of us who've been excited about PvP, tell us why you're wrong and why PVE is truly the way to go, at least as a first launch. Because I agree with you. I absolutely. I wasn't on board, but then I saw what you guys did with the boar hunt event, and it's like,
Oh,
okay.
well,
I
that's not even a DFK thing. You're just
It
playing
isn't.
the
Oh,
mode
it
wrong.
isn't.
Like PvE is always the superior mode to PvP. Dungeon crawling is the best use of time in any video game ever. But yeah, so I mean, honestly, that actually is just my opinion outside of DFK specifically. Is I am a PvE maxi. Like that is the play style that I enjoy. I will engage in some PvP. You can bet your ass I'm gonna come beat some of y'all. But I will engage in some PvP, but I love boss fights. I love the like extended dungeon crawl where it's like this grueling challenge that just keeps going. I find that a lot more fun. Like I want to fight things that are programmed to beat me. That's so I really enjoy PvE just in general. In DFK specifically, I mean, I think both are going to be fun and both are going to have their place, and there will be some of us that are maxis in each. But I just like when I think about our heroes and when I think about some of the stuff that we can do with dungeons, like I just don't see how, me fighting Sticks intern can compare to what could be done. But maybe I'm wrong. I won't fight Wowie. He'd beat me. But oh, Sticks intern saying that he's programmed to beat me, so I guess we'll find out. But me and him are
as
way
as
too in sync tonight. It's
as your intern, he's been programmed to learn your every skill set. So
but he's your intern.
he's your intern. He's mine intern. He's Stick's intern.
He's everybody's intern.
No, but I
Speaking
mean, oh,
real quick,
where we?
sorry, random, but
Yeah.
speaking of interns, I had to give a shout out to Avalanche intern. Oh, green screen's killing me. Avalanche intern. They were dropping free shirt coupons around Avalanche Summit, and I happened to find one, so I had to rock his shirt.
So check this out. You're not only rubbing in the hat, now you're rubbing in shirts. I mean, bro, cool it.
It is a nice hat though, got the crystal, got the Avalanche logo. We always bullish.
It's pretty spiffy. Well, in regards to PvP, I would argue that every PvP is a carbon copy of each other, and really the game is unique because of PvE. And if you're only into PvP, then maybe the game's not good. What is that a hot take, Bolon? What do you think?
I mean, I agree with it, but I do think it's a hot take. But I tend to agree, and it depends on the game. Like I also play some MOBAs. Y'all know I'm a massive bad league nerd. But yeah, I mean, just like if I'm playing an MMORPG, like I just don't care about fighting other people. I want to go get the cool stuff. Like I want to go find the loot. I want to go find limited drops. Like I want to go freaking explore. And that's just my preference.
Who,
Uh,
who doesn't like a loot box? I mean, I'm looking forward to just cracking these open and just maybe I find an amulet. I don't know. I don't
there
know.
won't be amulets on the hunts. The
There
amulets are
won't be amulets in that. Okay, that's good to know.
yeah. So
Uh,
the amulets will only be from the old snapshot and then from the leveling event, but there are 5 unique equipable items that will drop from Mad Boars, which I'm really surprised I haven't seen a whole lot of speculation on that. I'm kind of disappointed in y'all.
That's because Maddie, I'm not sure where he's at. Wowie, shame on you. That's your camp. Speculate recklessly, please, and thank you. No, but to that extent, I mean, when you say unique items, are they rare items, or are they just unique? You plead the fifth. It's okay.
Their rarity will be determined by how many people find them.
Fair enough.
I
Fair
guess
enough.
would be the most
Politician
honest
at
answer
heart.
to that.
A politician at heart. Oh, so um, let me see if I can dig some alpha out of you. I mean, I know I hate to be the guy who you've just showered us with a bunch of awesome, exciting news, and then ask, but what's next? But I'm gonna ask it
Like,
anyways. I mean, as far
nothing
as
less.
right, well, damn right. But what is next? I mean, what are you care to sort of maybe hint at some exciting comeuppance?
Yeah. Let's see. So, you know, I think next, which I think is also pretty well known, will be, the Holiday wallet integration, Singularity on ramp. We need to finish their integration, and then tutorials as well. So that's like the immediate next, and then obviously void hunts, but outside of that, definitely expeditions will be like the next major, non-combat feature. That was another fun thing, was everybody was like, expeditions are not next, right? And I'm like, yeah, yeah. Um, they're the next non-combat related release. But anyway, so definitely like expeditions from there. And then after that, uh, I think it's kind of hard to say at the moment, because there's multiple things progressing. And so then it really just comes down to timing and placement of, okay, these things are progressing, which one are we taking first? All right, let's get that one. So I think it's kind of hard to say specifically which will be the next big thing after expeditions.
And you guys have either been sitting on some stuff, or it just feels like you guys sort of propelled sort of those engines and things are like cranking up, whether it be these partnerships or these rollout of just epic updates. Is that just a feeling? Is it intentional? Some of these things were done and you were holding off for whatever the reason is. Which of the two was it?
It's definitely intentional. So we try to be strategic with like announcement timing, and obviously like we're not going to delay progress on anything. Like Halliday is a great example. I think we were talking with Halliday for hell, probably 6 weeks before we made the official announcement. Because one thing we try to do, really just in general across the board, is we try not to announce something too far before it will come out. We don't want to drop, put out the announcement and have everybody then being like, wait, what happened to that? It's been 3 months. We try to make sure that we kind of time it a little bit more. Which, like Halliday, for example, again, we actually had intended to go live a little bit sooner with them, but with less features. And then we decided to combine like phase one and phase two into a new phase one. So that one ended up being a little bit more time from announcement to integration, but that's fine. But like, y'all have seen with the on ramps, like we announced Swipe Lux, they were integrated within a couple weeks. We actually announced on meta the day they got integrated. That one worked out well. Singularity, we announced, I think, a week ago. We'll have their integration coming up shortly. So we do try to be very strategic. Obviously, I talked earlier about the decision on the Void Hunts trailer. But yeah, we definitely try to time those announcements to make sense. Either to tie to other stuff that's going on, or just timed where, maybe we've known, but we knew it was going to be a little bit. And so we didn't want to, kick that expectation up. Right. And that's where we tried to be pretty transparent on expeditions, that like, yes, that is next, but it is a big lift. It is going to take us some time to get there.
A couple comments to sort of call on here. Quality of life improvements. Thank you very much. Whether you're botting or not, I mean, they're just very vital to the success of the game. And then Wiley's got an important question. When DFK sponsorship deals, dual wraps for Mini Coops, when?
I did pitch to the team that I would just drive a Ferrari wrapped in a jewel wrap if they would pay for the Ferrari, but I got turned down.
Let me ask you a wild question. Do you foresee someday in the future? Do you foresee a day where there's an esports team DFK sponsored?
Ooh. I mean, can we sponsor a team that's competitively playing our own game though?
Well, not necessarily our own game. You want to
Why
cross
would they be playing
marketing.
anything else?
Well, I mean, they would be playing our game, but they'd be sporting DFK merch when they're playing insert name of Web2 esport.
That would be interesting. I can honestly say I haven't given that one any thought, but I am down as long as I get to like attend their tournaments and stuff because that would be awesome. That would be a lot of fun.
Get us
I'll
into
be
the
their
after
manager. Let's
parties. That's
go.
all I want.
I know nothing. I'll do it. But
uh,
yeah, no, I mean that could be really cool. I think it would be awesome. I'm all for slapping that logo everywhere it can go.
I love it. I know at one point in time you guys had that roadmap and you were posting stuff. Thanks for learning from some of those mistakes. Because I mean, you called it right. People would these AMAs would be consumed with when, and it was doing no one any favors. So thanks for that.
Yeah, I
Um,
think that is a bit of a hot take, but I appreciate it because obviously, yeah, we do agree. I think some people look at it as like a lack of desire to give information, and it's not. It's just an acknowledgement that things just change too fast. Like we're in Web3, we're in the blockchain space. We've all seen how quickly things can just completely turn around, and it was just creating more problems, as Kupo said. It was just creating more trouble than it was doing good because people had those expectations and weren't accounting for, oh, Harmony got hacked. Problem. Gotta solve that. So yeah, big fan of that also. And that's why we don't generally give dates anymore.
let me ask you this question. Reckless speculation here.
Let's go.
PvP. Wowie. Who do you have? Wowie or Matty Pascal wins?
Whew, you know, that one might be like a 50-50 win rate because I feel like Maddie is going to be like the super calculated strategist, and WowE is going to put together stuff that no one else would ever think of and is either going to work really well or fail really miserably. So, like, I feel like every fight could have a different outcome because they're both going to be so strategic, but so differently strategic that yeah, that's going to be a mix.
I like Wowie's response. The truest question of consistency king versus chaos master.
I mean, he's not wrong. Like it really is. But Wowie, he might be the chaos master, but he's the organized chaos master. Like he has a chaotic strategy, whereas like I might just go in and click random skills just to screw around and see what happened. He'll know exactly what he's gonna do. It just won't make sense to anyone but him.
Yeah, chaos. I gotta agree with Sticks in. I mean, if unpredictability will get you.
If it works.
If it works, absolutely. Um, Let me ask you another reckless question here. What are you more pumped for, PvP or LAN tournaments, and why?
I gotta go. I guess PvP. The land tournaments. I mean, they kind of just like I think will to an extent be PvP. But if we're going like specifically, I think I'll just go generic. Like, let's just fight each other. Guild war PvP.
And I have to ask you to elaborate on this because I hear you. I think we all hear you say this every time. Don't ape into broken mechanics, and as many of us will know, we ape into broken mechanics regardless whether or not we know what that means. One, two, because it's fun. Three, because degens will be degens. But elaborate it, and it's not just a DFK specific sort of model. I mean, meta for a reason. It
Yeah,
changes on a regular.
yeah,
I mean, just and maybe don't focus on on DFK specifically, but I mean, in your experience, maybe bring up a different game, maybe a Web 2 game. I mean,
yeah.
what do you mean, and sort of elaborate for us?
Yeah, I mean, just ultimately, like the point of any game is balance, right? Like without balance, you well, except for I guess Dark Souls, but with the exception of one game for masochists that you just get the crap kicked out of you, the goal is balance, and so you want things to feel good. You want things to feel challenging so that you have a sense of accomplishment when you win, but not so challenging that when you lose it's just like, oh yeah, I literally can't win that fight. And so you really want to make sure, like in the world of Web 2, uh, you know, I mean, look at every single TFT season. If you play League, you've probably played Team Fight Tactics. It's their auto chess system, and every single season there's something that's broken. Which yeah, great. That most games, but in the Web 3 world, you're spending money on that. In the Web 2 world, using that broken thing until they patch it, sure, why not? You might as well. It's there, it's free. But in the Web 3 world, if something looks too good, if you look at Archer and go, wow, Archer is stupidly strong, it's going to slaughter everybody. I'm going to go spend all my money on archers. Archers aren't going to stay that strong. So now you're setting yourself up for failure. Don't do it. We like to see people succeed, not fail. But the goal is always balance, and especially as young as this combat system is, there's going to be a lot of adjustments made. So as more stuff comes out, if you were playing something and you hit something and go, "Holy crap, that can't be right," it's probably not. Don't don't go put a bunch of money into it. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely like it exists in every game, right? And there should be a level of challenge. Like I talked about it in Discord a little bit. I bought a Switch a few months back because Tears of the Kingdom was coming out, but I also never played Breath of the Wild, so I decided to buy that and play it first. And I mean, I joke about not sleeping. I literally stopped. I was racking up hours in this game. It's so much fun.
Let's not lie to yourself. You never sleep regardless, but let's use that as an excuse. Continue.
Exactly. But if you haven't played Breath of the Wild, spoiler alert, I guess, but there's I guess 5 bosses, really, like 5 main bosses. You got to take out the 4 so that you can fight the 5th. But one of those, it's very cold, and so you're supposed to buy like cold weather gear first. Except that they gave me a hang glider, so I never like did anything to get any money because I just went to the tallest point I could find and jumped and then did it again and again and again, and that was the only way I traveled. So I just I just made a bunch of cold resistant food and then went and did the challenge, and every like 30 seconds I had to pause and eat more food to keep myself alive. But it was balanced. Like it cost me to do it that way, but it was fun. It was an interesting challenge, and that's how that balance is supposed to be there, where it's not that it can't be done, it's that it should be difficult. And if it's not difficult at all because something is just that strong, it's probably not going to stay that way.
No, I mean, great point, and I think it's something to reiterate. I think for those of us who are gonna degen, it doesn't matter because we're degens,
Never
right?
underestimate the degen.
Never underestimate a degen for sure. Let me ask you another question. Travel with me, Bolon, if you will, to 2024. Close your eyes. Take a trip with me.
Tell me, future boy, who's president of the United States?
Don't answer that question. We're not in November. We're August 2020. Year 3. You're reflecting back. What was the most? What was it? What was the coolest thing that happened in year 3?
I don't even know. Like there
Recklessly speculate with me.
I don't even know if I'll be able to pick one in that time. Like, holy crap. No, I mean, I definitely like we are now getting to the point of putting in the like serious foundation for some of the super fun gameplay stuff. Uh, I said I actually on our birthday, shortly after the trailer drop, while we were all in Discord and everybody was hyped and having a great time, I looked at my wife and said, it's days like these that really remind me that I get to work on a video game. Like it really is crazy. And yeah, that's true of every day, but some days feel more like it than others because other days other things are in focus. But we're getting to that point of really, getting into the meat and potatoes and the actual, like fun gameplay side. Obviously, void hunts are just the first part of that. And so, if I had to guess, I think 1 year from now, looking back on year 3, it will be something combat related. What? Not a clue, but it'll be something combat related.
Does the team ever sit back and just reflect on? I mean, because you guys aren't just building a game. I mean, if you think about it, you guys are paving the way. You're innovating. You're creating in a space. I mean, you guys are by definition just innovators. Beyond just GameFi. I mean, does that ever hit you guys? And you guys think, wow, we're really, one day we'll be the Elon, we're the Elon Musk of DeFi. I mean, does that come across your heads at any point in time?
I don't want to own Twitter. Uh, but uh but no, I mean it definitely does. And like we talk about it internally sometimes, and like we try to make sure that we remind each other of our accomplishments and how far we've come and what we're doing, because it is easy to get caught up in the day to day, right? And you don't see it as much. It's like, if you work on remodeling your house for 3 months, like you don't realize how much you've gotten done until you walk away and come back and go, holy crap, like this is a new place. And so we try to remind each other, but I think the most like telling part, and the part where it really hits you the most, is when you do actually step away. When you take a day off or a couple days off, even more so like when you actually go up, like take a vacation. When you step away, you disconnect, you go out, you do something fun, and then you come back and you're like, holy crap, like I'm working on this, which means all of this is already done. Damn, okay. And it's really cool. And like I can honestly say, like, not only the announcement of void hunts, but also the community reception, that stuff is super invigorating for us. Like it really really like just feeds us and keeps us going and lets us know that we're on the right track. But stuff like that goes really far for, like, especially our devs. They're chained to their desk, not allowed to go outside, coding nonstop 24/7. And being able to see that and see it like coming together, and then see people so excited about it, it's an amazing feeling. It really is.
So that sounds like it's your why, right? I mean, yes, you're working on a game, but at the end of the day, it is a job, and like any job, it can be taxing and sort of draining, right? I mean, so that keeps you motivated. Just the reflection and sort of God, I mean, yes, I'm part of the community, but at times, yeah, we can be a bit selfish and maybe unappreciative and and taking for granted because we're
Hey.
spoiled degens. But to your point, I mean, it's sort of that community feedback that you receive that keeps you all going. Then.
It really is, yeah. And I mean, yeah, everybody, like, it's fair. I don't expect y'all to be happy about everything all the time. I'd love it if you were, but I don't expect it. It all comes with the territory. But yes, it absolutely does. Like, the response today to the multi-leveling update, just seeing people like, holy shit, this is so great. Like, I've wanted this. This is amazing. Just seeing that positivity when we do get stuff out. It makes it reminds us that it was worth the work that it took to do it, right? Huge shout out to Mr. Zipper for the multi-leveling. I'm super excited about that because I'm very impatient. But yeah, like it just really, you spend, 3 weeks or 8 weeks or 2 years working on something. And no matter how good you feel about it, there's always that question. Is this going to come out and everybody's going to just crap on it? and and when they don't, it feels real good.
But I'll bring up Eric's comment. I know Moshka, they're doing their thing. From my perspective, I think I personally give a lot of love to the tokenomics committee. There's got to be a team, a group, a person, a committee that's very underrated on the front end because we don't necessarily see the hard work they're doing. I know everyone's great on the team, but if you had to pick a person, a group, a committee that doesn't get enough love because we don't see their hard work and
Yeah.
effort like we do sort of reflected with tokenomics, who would that be?
Can I pick 4?
You can pick 4. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So I do think the tokenomics committee is one of them. Like that's a 2-hour meeting every week. And like the amount of thought and effort and math and thought and discussion that goes into everything, every change that we make, every the fee structure for challenges. Yeah, I'll say it. I don't think it would be a problem. We'll find out. We'll see if somebody yells at me later. But the change that we made to Crystal and Jade distribution came about because of the entry fee for challenges. Because we were talking about the entry fee for challenges and we were talking about, doing something different with it and, maybe burning more of it, burning all of it, like changing it up a little bit. And then we finally realized, wait a minute, if that's what we want, let's just look at changing the whole thing. And so, it's stuff like that where like every feature like that goes through that committee and is treated with care and discussion. So that's one that I definitely like. I think people obviously see the impacts of it, but I don't know if they realize like how much that one is paid attention to. And then in terms of individuals, I'm going to shout out, I'm going to give 3 different individuals, which would be Sunbear, who does join some of our AMAs, so he is a little bit seen. But man, he works all these partnerships. He stays on top of them. He's involved in all of them. We get leads from all over the place. So different people are involved in different stuff. Obviously, some stuff we need devs, et cetera, et cetera. But Sunbear manages all of that and owns them all and makes sure that things keep moving with them, checks in with them, has statuses on them. So like that one is definitely a big one. And then typical T-Rex. Yeah, like pretty much outside of multi-leveling, pretty much every other multi-feature in the game has come from typical. And like him and Beetle are such an incredible team. Like between the two of them, just it's absolutely amazing. But typical is definitely like right there grinding alongside, and he definitely gets major kudos for that. But is not quite as public. Mostly he likes it that way. He likes to just stay and work in the shadows. But I hope people realize, we try to give credit to him in some of the like release notes and that kind of thing. And then the third one is Winston. Winston actually, excuse me. Winston actually probably is a little bit more visible because he comes and hangs out in Discord with us, which is fun. But
Jazz hands.
Winston Jazz hands. Jazz hands. But every time we do a release, when it goes super smoothly and there's virtually no bugs and everything is great and it's all phenomenal, Winston. It's not him by himself. It is at first. Like Winston does first runs on everything, which if anybody hasn't seen it, he actually did do an interview with Brovia on our birthday. So if you haven't seen his interview with Brovia, you should check it out. But he is our QA specialist. Like once code is ready, it goes to him and he just hammers it and tries to find everything that's broken on it, runs it on different browsers, different devices, like just grinds into it to try to find anything that isn't working right. From there, both Zip and Sachet help with some testing, and then also it goes to our Knights for bigger volume testing. And shout out to all of them as well, because they also sometimes find stuff that Winston may have missed. Our Knights do a great job of just like hammering it with larger volume and finding little stuff here and there. But yeah, Winston is definitely like, he's a huge piece of the development cycle, and a big part of why our releases go as smoothly as they go.
I have to ask, because I know it's come up, and I can't remember if it was a stream or some back channel conversations with people. I certainly appreciate the AMAs. I've come to sort of they're comfort YouTube for me. Like I know Thursdays at 11. Like if I don't catch it live, I catch it out. Like it's a stream I look forward to. 2 years you guys have been doing them. I mean, they're a lot of work. I can only imagine. Have you guys thought of why continue them? Two, have you thought about cutting back or amending or sort of doing them different? Because there is a lot of work that goes into them. Mind you, I know we all appreciate it. I see some of the comments, the fact that, we get the opportunity to sort of see behind the scenes through those AMAs and as a result of those AMAs. But I mean, really, any thoughts there? And do we expect that ever changing in the future?
I mean, it definitely is something that we've talked about. It's not something that like we're necessarily in a rush or trying to do, but it is something that we've talked about. Maybe going to every other week, or mixing it up so that we still do something every week, but maybe every week isn't an AMA. Especially we've talked about doing like, we did a release on Wednesday, so instead of doing an AMA on Thursday, we're going to do a release review or something like that. So we have talked about different things, but ultimately, there are weeks where we finish in 45 minutes. Maybe I think there's been like maybe 2 in 2 years that were sub 45 minutes. But yeah, there are some weeks that we finish a little early, but I mean, honestly, as long as the questions keep coming and people keep wanting to see them, we don't really plan on not doing them. We enjoy them, to be perfectly honest. We like it. We think it's fun. AMA voiceless chat is always a good time. And it's a nice break to, take an hour, talk to our community, answer some questions. So we don't really have necessarily a strong desire to change them, but if it gets to the point where, every week is 30 minutes, yeah, we might move to every other week and condense. So hint, ask questions. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how many of y'all remember back in the olden days.
My God.
We did them every week, but it was a different department every week. So it would be like the art department, the mechanics department, the front end department, the solidity department. And that was a lot of fun, actually. I really liked that model in general. The problem was it took too long to get some questions answered. Because, if you had a question for the solidity department and they had done their AMA 2 days before, you're looking at a month before their next one. So it's a lot more efficient to do it all in one, but it was kind of cool to have it separated by department. That was fun.
I see Wowie's comment. Sometimes he misses Annapolis. I miss Metas.
Yep, Metas.
And sort of that relationship they both had. It was, boy, if you've been here long enough to recognize those names, not only recognize those names, but remember those voices.
Yep.
Kudos to you. Any parting thoughts, Bolon, you care to share? I mean, I know you started off with sort of sharing and shouting out love for community, but anything else?
Yeah, I mean, you helped me hit both love for community and love for team, so I appreciate that. I even got a jab in at Senjuro. It's been a good podcast. We need to do this more often. But let's see. Final thoughts. Final thoughts. Final thoughts. Um, I mean, honestly, I can't say enough how much we appreciate you. Like this has been our 2-year birthday, right? And I think I said something in one of the announcements about like, this is a time where we reflect, and it was kind of a joke in the lead up to Void Hunts because that was the part everybody cared about. But it really is like it is a time. We had our team meeting this week, and we took a little bit to talk about it because it is honestly, it's an incredible accomplishment. There's a lot of projects out there that don't make it to 2 years. And there was a time where many people didn't think we would make it to 2 years. So it really, like, it feels really good. It's a really good accomplishment. And we wouldn't be here without our community. We also wouldn't be here without the absolutely unbelievable people that we have on our team, as well as the ones that we have had on our team. Every single person that has ever been with us has contributed and contributed and contributed. And we're very fortunate to have the people that we do because they are very, very good at what they do. And just I think somebody asked, was it who? I don't remember. Maybe it might have been Brovia actually that asked Winston. I don't remember, but he asked, how does the team stay so positive? And it's just because we believe in what we're doing, and we want it to, we want to see it through. But we can't do that without our community, and we are extremely, extremely fortunate to have the best community in crypto and gaming. And so, absolutely love you guys. Love everybody on the team, and I'm so excited for year 3. It's there's going to be some good stuff, and I cannot wait to see it start to happen.
And I'm looking for forward to that. To what you said, I will go ahead and add the fact that I feel like that energy transpires from the top down. Those positive vibes within the team roll off into the. I mean, what other community has a group of streamers that just hang out together and rather than compete, decide to collaborate and do awesome
Right.
stuff together? And then you take that and the community itself. I mean, rather than it's just we're it's a beautiful thing, and I can't imagine it working, let alone being replicated somewhere else. I'm sure it can happen, but to get there, I don't know how you get there. It's
Every
just it
everybody
starts
wants
from the top.
everybody else to succeed, and it's beautiful. Like, our streamers are absolutely phenomenal. Obviously yourself, Sticks Intern and Wowie are here in the chat. But yeah, I mean, our streamers, like, watching you guys on Twitter just lift each other up constantly, promote each other, cross promote, show up on each other's streams, do joint streams, like it's beautiful. Like, it really is. Everybody wants to see everybody else succeed, and you just don't normally see that. Somebody wants to succeed at the cost of everyone else, and we just really don't have that. And it's absolutely amazing. It really is. I know I'm very sappy today, but yeah,
Hey,
birthday
what are
vibes,
birthday? Yeah, what are birthdays for if they're not to be sappy? Well, with
right?
that said, I really do look forward to doing more of these. Who knows? Maybe in the near future we get together and do something. But again, thanks to you, thanks to the team, thanks to the community. I can't impromptu decide to stream without heads up and have 16 people show up. I'm impressed, right? If you don't have an audience, who are you talking to? Who you're streaming to? So I really appreciate you guys. Thank you all. We'll catch you next time. And I was keeping track. I don't recall coughing this entire stream, so maybe hot takes they come back. So tune in next week. We'll see what we do. we'll start awarding points and maybe giving out some prizes again. Till then, y'all stay cool, stay fresh, stay awesome. See you next time.
Thanks, Sarge.